I'm actually finding this lighting sort of kind of cold, and that's because it is, just because it's like a blue lighting, so it's very like cold. But anyways, so actually we finished. This is done. This is now complete, which means that we have new sketchbooks. Now here's the thing. Usually I have two sketchbooks because this is like for graphic design and whatnot, and then this is my thought dumpster, and they sort of go simultaneously because this can have client work in it, and that's stuff that I can't really show, and it just doesn't really keep the flow of the sketchbook that I would like to keep. Well, on the other hand, this is my thought dumpsters, which has like a variety of different pieces. If you haven't seen the tour and you'd like to see what I put in there, maybe you're not sure if I'm a good drawer, artist, then you can check out a sketchbook tour, which I will link right there, hopefully. But yeah, so we actually have an important decision as to which one to use. I don't know. I'm actually quite conflicted, and I've had a hard time deciding because on one hand this is yellow, you know, and then these ones are both really good to draw on still. But I think the texture of the covers are actually different. The yellow one thinks it might be more leathery, and then this is more papery, which papery I could then draw and do stuff on, but this I would probably have to paint or add stickers to, which might be really fun too, but we'll see. I think I want to go with this one, so this can actually just go. And we'll crack this one open. So you could probably tell that I have a few of these sketchbooks already. They are the Talent Artist Creation, and it's 13 centimeters by 21 centimeters, or if you're American. Anyways, so essentially, I decided on this sketchbook here instead of the craft paper one because I wanted to do something a bit different. And I thought that choosing a colored sketchbook would sort of step out of my usual comfort zone. Usually I go with a black sketchbook. I've done like a blue one, and like yellow is just so far out there. Plus it's a bright color, so it makes me a bit happier. On top of that, I like the size of the sketchbook because I can fill it comfortably. I've tried a small sketchbook, like tiny sketchbooks, and I find them the hardest to fill just because it's like, how do I fill such a small space and how much details can I put into it? And you are sort of limited in a way. Now, if you do want to see a full like mini sketchbook tour, let me know down in the comments below, because I have completed one and I have like 2 more to still do, so that could be something in the future. Anyways, I liked the sketchbook because it can hold all the mediums that I required, and then on top of that, it's nothing that like I don't really use a lot of watercolor or paints, so it does the job what I need it to do for the mediums that I use, like graphite and charcoal. And saying that, it's actually not too bad to paint on, I would say. I had this chonky boy here, and you'll see in the future that I go to town with it, and it wasn't too bad, so can't complain about that. There was some pilling, but I don't think that was from the paper itself. I'm pretty sure that's just because this marker here is so old that it was causing it to pill. Hi, actually future me, stepping in here to say that it does actually pill, especially if you're using any markers, like wet markers, so I imagine alcohol markers, it will cause it to pill. The Tombow brush pens that I used also caused it to pill, so not ideal for those mediums, but I think paint might be a little bit different because of how it's applied, but anyways, that's to take into account with the sketchbook. Bye! So I like sort of putting at least something on the cover just to indicate that, like, hey, this is a sketchbook. And in saying that, I thought that sticking some stickers might be really cool just because of the texture. I didn't really want to paint, and yeah, I happen to have this Just So Appealing sticker out and about, and because of the banana being yellow and the blue just suiting yellow very nicely, I thought it'd be really cool just to put this here, and it fit just a little too well on the sketchbook. Now, in saying that, I still wanted it to say thought dumpster just so I knew in the future and like you guys can know in the future. And on top of that, I thought it would be a good idea to also put a sticker along the spine. That way, if it's in like a bookshelf or something, I can easily identify this is thought dumpster number 4 in the series. So, yeah, functionality is ideal. Now, I got down and I started watching YouTube and also browsing through Pinterest while coming up with some ideas for stickers. So I wanted something to act as a label, but I also wanted it to be fun in a way and just a cleaner style. I didn't want it to be too busy on the cover of the sketchbook. I don't know. I just like it really simple and clean. It probably has something to do with going more in details in the future, especially when it comes to the inside of the sketchbook and wear and tear on the outside. I really wouldn't want to cry over a really nice piece that's gonna get like a bit roughed as I take sketchbooks with me to random places. So yeah. After browsing through Pinterest, I did come across some stickers that I liked the idea of and like the shape of, so I sort of draw inspiration from that and I move into Illustrator, which from Illustrator, I just work on a simple formatting. It doesn't take a whole lot of time just because I was like, this is just gonna be a quick little thing. It was, and I play with hierarchy a little bit. When it comes to words, especially type, you want people to see words and information in a certain order. So for this, I want you to read thought dumpster first before you can identify what number of thought dumpster it is. In this case, number 4. There are some things that I would change looking back into it, like making 4 shorter, so thought and dumpster weren't too far apart. But also, I was keeping in mind that since I was printing this on an inkjet printer, I was concerned that there's this thing called choke. And what that is when your background color bleeds into your foreground color, which in this case, the blue would bleed into the yellow. And that could either like completely erase the yellow or make the yellow smaller than what it should be. So I was just trying to take that into account when I was creating it, because I didn't want the font to also be too thick where it stood out too much. So I wanted that thin font still, but I didn't want it to be choked out. I'm pretty sure that's the correct term. Anybody who does print shop work, let me know down in the below, and we'll see. Look, I just did that course to pass. I didn't do well in the print shop course. All right. Whew. Okay, so with that being said, I was printing out the sticker on sticker paper, and because I had so much real estate left on it, I was like, that would be a waste just to print it, so let me design some more things. I went to Pinterest, browsed around some more things, and I really had fruit on the brain because bananas, and then it's inspired by like the fruit label sticker things that are stuck on the fruit itself, the fruit stickers. And it just had like this little twist. And I thought it'd be really cool to do like another fruit label of sorts, but something that's a different shape and like maybe more detailed or interesting. In saying that, I thought blueberries, because blueberries been on the brain lately. I have this character named Blue, and they sort of were around for a lot of Thought Dumpster 3, I would say, because I love the character design so much. But that's the thing. I love the character design so much that I don't want it to just stick around in Thought Dumpster 3 only. So in saying that, I added sort of like a little homage, a little nod, and took his head and put it on the label. It was actually really fun because one of the goals that I have for the future is to sort of integrate more graphic design with my artwork, and it was just really cool just to do like handwritten text but also think about the format like it's a graphic design project. It's just like really cool concept, and after sort of like finishing it up, but in saying that, it was a cool style, really cool sticker, and yeah, I thought I would add it on because I really wanted this to be a sticker. With that all being on the page, worked on the spine design. I wanted it to be really simple, and on top of that, I thought 4 would be the most important thing in this situation, just because when it's on the shelf, it will be with other thought dumpsters. So like, I'll know it's thought dumpster. What I won't know is what number it is. So, yep, emphasis on the 4. Now, here's this little thing, right? It's looking a bit familiar, the color scheme. It's given me a bit of IKEA. And like, even though, I don't know, it's like, you might have mixed feelings, but I absolutely sort of kind of love it. It's sort of kind of funny to me, and it makes me sort of happier with the sketchbook, excited with the sketchbook, and in saying that, like, I'm gonna really lean into it for the cover design. So, having some more time, I think it would be a good idea to also talk about the very first spread / page of the sketchbook. A lot of artists are doing this, and it's really helpful with like keeping a sketchbook, because most of the time the reason why you don't really keep a sketchbook is because you don't think that your art is good, and especially when you see the first page, because first impressions do matter for some people. When you see that first page and it's not your best work, then you feel like the rest of the work isn't so great, and that can be a real turn off, and that can be a reason why people shift sketchbooks and like have half finished sketchbooks. Now, in saying that, I also like the front cover because it does sort of make me laugh a little bit, because this is a thought dumpster, and it's like an opportunity to design a character for that sketchbook type thing, or like to try something and fill in that first page so then it looks completed. And like, I just really enjoy making sure that you guys know that it's a thought dumpster. It also sort of has a neater place to put your start and end dates, so you know when you started and ended a sketchbook, rather than trying to find throughout all the pages like, oh, I started on this day and then I ended on this day, especially for some people who don't fill in sketchbooks in order. In saying that, I had a lot of fun. So it started off with the sketchbook cover being yellow, and then I have this really chunky marker, which is a paint marker that I got on clearance at Michael's like 5 years ago, so it's old, and probably the reason why there are some pilling that happens on the sketchbook. I think it's the tip sort of kind of disintegrating. Or like the dried paint from it accumulating. Anyways, with that being said, I wanted to use this, and since it's like the cover page, first impression, it'd be really cool just to block out a lot of the colors, and then to do like, I knew I wanted to do a character of sorts on that first page standing there, and like incorporate yellow into the design, but I didn't want it to be all yellow, so I wanted to also play with negative space and leave some white to breathe, and then add some dark colors, because I thought to myself that to show up on like a totally yellow blocked out section, I would probably have to use black and not blue in the case, and I just thought that it would sort of break away from the cover a little bit. So thinking about black, yellow, and white, it was really fun to come up with a character design. I was really into like cyber techwear type things because of blue. So in saying that, I have a section for cyber stuff in my Pinterest, and I just browsed through that, got some inspiration from scrolling around, and then I designed a character. I dressed up a sketch of a person, and then I fleshed out that I wanted it to be a male character in this really cute styles that are supposed to have large hands and like big feet and a big head, but or just like regular size chibi head type thing. But yeah, so I had a lot of fun sort of fleshing him out, giving him a hat, you know, trying to figure out hair and what color I want it to be, and all those things, as well as bringing the yellow back into his design. It's going to be a really yellow sketchbook, and I can't help that. On top of that, I also got to try a different, like, it's not like a brand new different medium or something like that, and it's nothing profound that I did with it, but one of the things that I want to do in the future is sort of push myself more, and one of the reasons is easily by adding colors. I don't use a whole lot of colors. I'm a graphite charcoal type of person. I just don't reach for colors usually, and I can find it a bit challenging. So in doing this, even though it's a bit easier, some might say, it sort of eased me into using colors, and it's a good thing because I end up using a bit more colors in the future. Yay! With that in mind, I blocked in the background, and I was worried about the sections that were more detailed because it's such a thick tip, that I just took a paintbrush to it, to be honest, because, you know, it's a paint marker. It makes sense, all right? Like, don't think I cheated, because it's not. It's being resourceful and using what I have, and I have a lot of paintbrushes. So, in saying that, it was really fun to have, like, just a color punch to your face as you open my sketchbook up. And yeah, love the character design. I do draw him a few more times in the future. Yes, I can say that already because this video sort of kind of took a less priority compared to like Halloween that's coming up and rebranding and stuff like that, and I'm sorry, but yeah, so like I do come back to this character and it was just so much fun. I enjoyed myself too, which has been really important to me lately, and I sort of got to play around with a bit of graphic design, especially like handwritten type in here. I did mess up thought by the way, oops, but you know what, it wasn't so tragic that I had to try and like frantically cover it or something. I sort of managed to work in the fix so it's not too terrible, and I am not going to cry over it. I hope you guys sort of enjoyed the process though, and like the style of video. I know it's not typical and stuff like that, but I am having a lot of fun exploring different type of videos and trying to play around with the camera a bit more. Not your typical speed painting or fill in the spread, I know, and I'm sorry about that. But still, you know, trying new things, so hopefully you will be encouraged to also be creative and push yourself outside of your comfort zone a little bit. In saying that, I hope you guys all stay safe, stay hydrated, have a wonderful day, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye!